Relations Award. The recipients of this award have come from all walks of life, the arts, law, education, social services, but all have one commitment in common, and that is their activism. This year's recipient is committed to the elimination of racism, prejudice, and discrimination, and creating a climate in which values and respects our diversities. The award is named after the first person of African heritage to serve as a Toronto City Councillor. As such, Hubbard entered politics in 1894 at the age of 52, and he served for a total of 15 years as a councillor and also served as the acting mayor. Again, we think of his road. The 2012 recipient of the William P. Hubbard Award for Race Relations is Samuel Getachew. Samuel
has been a dedicated volunteer and community journalist for more than a decade. He is an ongoing contributor to Generation Next and writes regularly for Sway, TZTA, and the Huffington Post. He is also a regular commentator in the media on diversity issues. He has always used these outlets to tell the story of emerging immigrant Canadians. Samuel.
Thank you. I did not write a speech because I wanted to be able to speak from the heart. You know, we Canadians are so privileged. You know, long before I came to Canada, I learned about Canadians. I learned about Brian Mulroney and how he fought for the end of minority rule in South Africa. I learned of Lester P. Pearson, who brought the idea of peacekeeping to the world, and my country, my home country, benefited from it in so many ways. I learned of Stephen Lewis, the young, the gifted, the passionate Stephen Lewis who wanted to fight and end HIV/AIDS in Africa. I learned of Joe Clark, who has contributed so much, especially in places like Cyprus, as a private citizen. And I learned of Flora MacDonald, who has invested her years to help Afghanistan. And the greatest Canadian, Sir John A. Macdonald, who will be celebrating his 200th birthday in 2015, and the countless of Canadians who continue to contribute to nation building in places in Africa, in my home country, Ethiopia, and in so many places. I dedicate this for us. In the last couple of weeks, I have been occupied with my friends to bring the issue of the Ethiopian maids that are being killed in Saudi Arabia. And I also dedicate this to you. It's a very emotional issue for Ethiopians, and Canadian voice is needed more than ever. And the Armenian genocide, which I learned when I was a kid. It's a sad story, but I also dedicate to the Armenian friends I've made in Ethiopia as a young kid, especially Vahi Talibian, who taught me what a genocide was all about. And we should all stop what's happening to Ethiopians in Saudi Arabia. And let me talk about my parents. My parents gave me so much. My mom's name is Aster Almasi, and my dad's name is Getachew. They've been a perfect parent to me, and I also want to dedicate this to them. And to the young lady who keeps me past my bedtime every night, who lives in Boston. I wish her a happy birthday, and I also would like to remind you, Canada is the best country, and I still believe in a place called Little Ethiopia on Danforth. And I hope councillors will make it a reality this year or next year. Let me just tell you about Little Ethiopia, because I would never be privileged. As Janet Davis reminded me, this is my first speech in the chamber. and I hope it won't be the last. But Little Ethiopia is not about ghetto-sizing an area. It's celebrating the Ethiopian-Canadian story. Canada is a multicultural country, but we've never had a section of anything named after an African country, and it's about time Ethiopians, our contribution is celebrated in this country. But at that way, and I would like to recognize my cousins, my friends. Bruce Alexander, thank you for coming. And your worship, Barbara Hall, you inspire us, and I hope, as the counselor told us, you'll come back, because we need leadership in Toronto. Thank you, and always, God bless Canada, and God bless Ethiopia.
To present the Pride Award, please welcome back to the stage, you might remember her from earlier this evening, Councillor Pam McConnell.